What's up, trash talkers? This is Trash Talk Fantasy League, where bros talk the most trash and deliver fantasy gold. Welcome back to the Get to Know the Roster segment. Today, we're taking a look at the NFC North and specifically the Minnesota Vikings. They didn't do a whole lot this offseason, but they did make one very big move that could potentially change this team all the way around. So buckle up as we dive deep into the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings didn't do a whole lot, but they did make one very big change at one of the most important positions in the room, the QB. All right, so they didn't like they're not 100% sold on the fact that their new starting QB Kyler Murray is going to be the real deal, but they're giving him a shot. They gave him a 1-year veteran minimum $1.3 million deal. So this is his chance to make it or break it. Um, a lot of people believe that he's already going to be the number one, but will he with a veteran minimum deal? You don't know because JJ McCarthy is supposed to be coming back as well. He was the primary backup developmental in 2025. With Murray ahead of him on the depth chart, as for now, it's only time can see what's going to happen. I mean, he could have a chip on his shoulder and he wants to start. There's some competition. There ain't nothing better than a little competition to take you to that next level. So fantasy managers should pay attention to what's going on during camp because you do not want to waste a high-end draft pick on Kyler Murray just to find out, guess what, McCarty's going to get your start. Um, so, yeah, we'll see what happens. Does he have that chip on his shoulder? Does he have what it takes to take over Kyler Murray's spot? We'll find out. We will find out real soon. We are so close away. And then I gotta mention it. I never really mentioned a third string QB on a fantasy football podcast, but when Carson Wentz is your third string QB, that's something to mention. Doubt he's going to get much playing time. Doubt he's going to be a fantasy relevant QB, but Kyler Murray and McCarthy have had their history of dealing with injuries. So we shall see. We shall see in that room, which, man, I feel worse. This is like the biggest question is what is the wide receivers going to do this year? Justin Jefferson had a very off season last year. I don't remember his exact stats, but they were not, people were drafting him top 5, top 6 last year. And when you got a guy like that, you need him to catch, at least 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns would be nice. I know that's a little exaggerating, but so can Justin Jefferson show us that he's the number one again? Honestly, I'm not excited about it because you got to think about Kyler Murray, and they're only going to say like pass it 50% of the time, but how much percent of the time is he going to run with the ball? Like when Justin Jefferson had those phenomenal seasons, it was with Kirk Cousins, who's very patient in the pocket, likes to move around. His first instinct isn't going to be to run, and when he does run, it's kind of funny looking because he's slow, he's old. Kyler, I don't know. I think it's gonna hurt Jefferson a little bit. So be wary of Justin Jefferson. I wouldn't overpay him. I don't think he's gonna have as good of a season as he did a few years ago. So be wary. Be wary. I don't know. Let somebody else overpay for him. I mean, yeah, he's gonna be a good wide receiver, but I just don't think Kyler Murray is gonna be able to give him that Kirk Cousins type of performance. That's just me. Let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong. So, that's definitely not the first time I'll be wrong. You got Jordan Addison. He had a tough 2025 impacted by the suspension and QB issues, but he's primed for a bounce back season, especially so this is another thing that like I think about like with Justin Jefferson, what is he number one at? Like, what is he really good at? He's really good at getting like 10, 15 yards down the field, doing a juke job real quick, and then getting some separation on the cornerbacks, getting wide open, and then you just got to barely just put it in there. It's not like you got to put it in that little bitty circle because the corner's all over you. So that's what, but what that takes time. It takes more time. And so I just think that Justin Jefferson's going to have a very frustrating season, but in the same aspect of it, you're close, your what is it, your slot receivers that do just those little quick slants or in and outs quite a bit that don't go that deep down the field, don't rely on that separating from the number one corner. They're more relying on trying to get across the field and get into some traffic. Jordan Addison, I mean, I don't want to say he's going to have a better season than Justin Jefferson, but if Kyler Murray is a quarterback, Jordan Addison is going to have. I think for where you get him drafted at, I think you're going to have a decent season with Jordan. I would be more high on Jordan than I am on Jefferson. And then the another big addition we got to talk about. He's probably not going to be the number one or number two receivers unless somebody gets hurt. But this is a big guy. He's brand new to the team. He already showed us he could perform well with the 49ers. They signed him with an $8 million 1 year deal. So, I mean, they got a lot more faith in him than they do their quarterback. Um, with a $13 million possible incentive in it. So they really want to see this guy. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about Jauan Jennings. All right. This is a tough, elite, physical, tall running back, a red zone threat. He's not going to get you 1,000 yards probably, but he could get you 10 touchdowns. Touchdowns mean points. Points means championship, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Obviously, we got to mention TJ Hockenson. He's back. That's a veteran. He actually restructured his deal a little bit, saving the team a little bit of money. So yeah, we'll see what TJ. We'll see what he does. He could be a sleeper candidate. Like he's another one of those guys in those positions that's not going to run deep down the field. But when Kyler Murray is feeling that pressure quick, you know, he can hit him. All right, that pretty much wraps up the quarterback wide receiver room. Now we got to go over to the running back room. All right, so this is pretty much the same old, same old. They didn't do any changes. The only changes really that got made in the offseason was Aaron Jones restructured his contract so he could stay on the team. I think they probably would have got rid of him and focused on running back if he had wanted to make a little less. But that's Aaron Jones. He's that kind of guy. I love Aaron Jones. He's amazing person. What he does on like off the field for his charities, his relationship with his dad was always special. I mean, as a Packer fan, I'm always going to be an Aaron Jones fan, even if he is on the Minnesota Vikings. um, I was really hoping like he would try to come back for after, especially after seeing what the Jacobs news. We'll get into that soon. Anywho, also Jordan Mason, he's back on the team. So we got the pretty much we got the exact same running backs for fantasy purposes. So we know what they're gonna do. So I went and looked at last year, like, what is this? Who's gonna have a step up? Well, it was so 50-50. I have no idea. Honestly, if I had to take a pick, it would probably be Jordan Mason, only because Aaron Jones is getting old and he already has issues with staying healthy. I mean, last season he did 12 games, so not like super unhealthy. Um, Jordan Mason did 16 games, and their stat line was almost 50-50. I mean, I think Jordan had 60 more yards all purpose and three more touchdowns. So if Jones had played all 16 games like Mason, you probably would have been an exact 50-50. Maybe Jones just a little bit up. Advice going into that, I mean, I pray that that's not your RB1 or RB2. Like if you're having to flex Aaron Jones or Jordan Mason's, that's a doable deal, but hopefully you got a better running back and you're not dealing with injuries to all your running backs and you're starting one of those guys. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much wraps up the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll see. The biggest question is going to be, what does Kyler Murray do this season? Does he have a comeback? Y'all let me know down in the comments. All right, I'll see y'all guys later.